Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya Sarvadharmasvarupine Sthapakaya cha dharmasya Sarvadharmasvarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna te Namaha. Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate, who came to establish universal religion. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. Today's topic I have chosen from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. My mind is one's greatest asset. Sri Ramakrishna has said many times in the Gospel how one should think the mind, how one should use the mind in thinking about the divine. So mind occupies most important role in everyone's life. So it is one's greatest asset. That means how much care and attention we should take to keep this mind in fine condition, so that by the help of which we should be able to realize the divine. Generally, mind of the people in this world is restless because of engaging the mind in so many things not connected to any spirituality. So mind is made restless. Filling up the mind with all types of desires. So it is sometimes described as a drunken monkey sitting on the nest of fiery red ants. All the misery one undergoes in the course of life, he is attributed to a hyperactive and restless mind. More precious than gold or silver or diamonds. More precious than any kind of material wealth. Our greatest wealth, friend and indeed helper, is our mind. In our mind we have an ally. It is an ever ready friend, 24 hours of the day and night. In fact, mind follows us wherever we go until we realize the divine supreme mind stays with us. So We become happy if we keep the mind proper. We become miserable if we keep mind improperly. Even when we are alone, abandoned, helpless, or when we are in dire distress or in a dangerous predicament, our mind is there to help, ever ready at hand to guide us and to show us ways and means to overcome any situation. Nobody should underestimate the value of mind as a precious friend and as our greatest well-wisher. It is the source of all that is good. Know this as a fact. Treat your mind as such and utilize it as such. Then you will find yourself acting in the way of the wise. Well, mind behaves like an enemy when you do not give proper attention about disciplining it. We are responsible for spoiling the mind. But then we put the blame on the mind. So, mind may become your greatest liability. That can happen only due to your own foolishness and thoughtlessness. Underrating the value of mind. You will then always be struggling with your mind. So, under such circumstances, you blame your mind. I want to be good, but my mind does not allow me. I am actually good, and it is my mind that is dragging me down. My mind is always doing this. It is always doing that. We go on in this way, heaping all blames on our mind. Which is not so. On the contrary, we do not give our mind a chance. We do not understand how precious it is. Mind is God's own special gift to mankind. It is the elevator that alone can lift you up and grant you liberation. Look at the highly successful craftsmen such as surgeons, engineers, painters, or sculptors. See how will they take care of their instruments. You need good instruments to create good things. Your mind is your instrument. Take care of it and treat it well, and it will serve you. It is really not difficult to understand the mind in order to master it. True mind and deluded mind are two aspects of the mind. Deluded mind is a forgetful and disturbed mind. Disturbances arise from the memory of negative impressions gathered and embedded in the mind. The basis of true mind is awakened understanding arising from mindful observation. It is mindfulness that brings out the light which exists in the deluded mind, so that life can be revealed in its reality. In that light, confusion dissipates, while understanding emerges. Wrong views are transformed into clear, tranquil and true mind. When one's mindful observation is born, it will penetrate the object of observation, eliminate it, and gradually reveal its true nature. The true mind rises from a deluded mind. Things in their true nature and illusions are both of the same basic substance. That's why practice such as calm meditation, uninvolved observation and meditation are all means of transforming a deluded mind, and is not a matter of seeking for a true mind elsewhere. Just as the surface of a rough sea, as well as that of a calm sea, are manifestations of the same sea, true mind does not exist in isolation as a separate entity from a deluded mind. Both states are two aspects of the same mind. It depends upon how we treat the mind. Understanding this will help you to see a friend in your mind and dispel the illusion that you harbor that it is your enemy. The refinement and sublimation of personality depends upon cultivation of virtuous qualities. You can shape your personality in a better way and transform it into a glorious one. Eminence and nobility of personality is an invaluable asset which leads to success in all domains of the worldly and spiritual life. Wealth, materialistic tools, or support and cooperation of others alone is not sufficient for worthwhile achievements. These resources are useful and could be necessary, but above all this, the master key is sublimity of one's own personality. How to refine the talents, how to develop an elevated personality, how to endow it with virtuous qualities and potentials. This is the paramount question, the central focus of the art of living. Finding its methodology and proceeding accordingly is indeed like achieving at least half the goal towards a brilliant and fulfilling life. Jiva sadhana means transmutation and enhancement of potentials, abilities, and conduct by self-endeavor. The subtle mental imprints of the previous lives in the chain of 8400,000 yonis, different life forms, continue to influence one's tendencies in the human life as well. As a result, in the crude state of human life, one's cravings, behavior, and actions are often driven by beastly instincts and negative mental tendencies. Until uprooted and thrown out, these kusamskaras, that is, evil impressions on the mind, hinder the refinement of personality. Elimination of these untoward, negative, and pernicious instincts, habits, and desires by untiring efforts and simultaneous cultivation of ennobling character and deeds is the real sadhana of human life. This sadhana is no less exacting than taming and training a wild animal and to engage it in constructive activities as per our will. As crude metal from the mines is melted and refined in the fire before it could be processed to make shining ornaments, likewise the impurities of the mind need to be burnt out in the fire of devout ascetic practices of self-restraint and penance. The endeavors towards self-refinement are simultaneously accompanied by those of self-development through cultivation of noble qualities, upright conduct and character and values of human life. This is how we can manufacture and design the precious jewels from the gold mine of capabilities gifted to us by nature. We should root out from the field of our life all the thorny weeds of evil tendencies and weaknesses of our nature and remold ourselves as civilized and cultured human beings, ready to rise high up to the divine level. Sadhana, that is practice, is the key to paranormal attainments and preeminent success in human life. Jivan sadhana should be an integral part of our lives. For this, we should introspect and analyze our thoughts, our conduct, and our activities impartially and thoroughly. We should also develop positive attitude and sincerely endeavor to uproot the infirmities, untoward, and evil tendencies lying dormant within us. This process of constant self-effort of gradual refinement and upliftment also implies conscious self-development, widening of outlook, and altruistic involvement in the sorrows and joys of others. Self-development is achieved by substitution of selfishness by selflessness. This is what leads to supernormal attainments and awakening of divinity in the human heart. The cornerstone of overall self-transformation is transformation of the attitude. Change your outlook towards yourself. Think and feel yourself not as a gross body, but the immortal soul, for which this life and the body is only a sojourn in the infinite journey. You are born for the self-realization, for enlightenment, unbounded spiritual progress. No doubt, you should take care of healthy sustenance of the body, but don't confine the goal of your life only to blindly pursue after the possession of its comforts and pleasures. Your attitude should be eating to survive and not surviving to eat. Take proper care of the body as an instrument for the optimum use of the faculties of your sense organs and mind. Change your views and behavior on the personal and social fronts of life accordingly. Once you turn your attention inward and look at yourself as a soul, you will find marvelous solutions to all your problems and worries. The door of immense joy and progress will be wide open before you. Life is a precious gift. Don't let worldly allurements and attachments overpower and overshadow the beatitude and sublimity of your real self and the pristine dignity of your life. Look at the life of great Saint Tulsidas, for example. When he was blindly driven by sensual attractions and attachments, he received nothing but disdain, scorn, and agony. But once his inner self was lit by the light of devotion to God, the same man became the great venerable Saint Tulsidas, the author of the holy Ramcharitmanas of immortal glory. But see, his devotion was not like ours. We chant the mantras, rotate the rosary, but our minds remain restive and unstable. roving around our tensions, desires, and whatnot. His was a total self-surrender. Nothing mattered to him except the devotion to Lord Ram. Such was the potency of his inner fervour for his deity, that it could force Lord Ram himself to appear before him and bless him in his embodied form. In fact, it is said that Tulsidas had the vision of Sri Ramchandra in Chitrakoot. I had gone to visit Chitrakoot when I went to see Allahabad. Very nice place. And Tulsidas had the vision of Rama there. So, it is very important how we should handle the greatest asset given to us by God, mind. Mahabharata is said to be the greatest war ever fought on this earth. You should know that the first step towards spiritual upliftment is to fight this gigantic war yourself in the battlefield of your own psyche, to wipe out its accumulated vices and tendencies. Our lives remain enslaved to the insane appetites and tendencies of the mind until and unless we are able to win this perpetual war against hostile hordes of Kauravas entrenched within us. Winning this war means attaining ultimate victory, becoming omnipotent. Those who conquer their minds are called Manasvi. Success lies at their feet. They are the ones who become truly great personalities, saints, divine beings. If you care and aspire for elevation to higher domains in life, join the great battle against the evils lodged within you. The first step towards triumph in this battle is the adoption of the principle of simple living and high thinking. If you adopt the principle of simple living and high thinking, you would soon start attaining rapid progress in life. Simplicity of lifestyle will automatically eliminate your sense of scarcity. This, together with the positive and constructive transformation of your thinking and feelings, will enable you to make constructive use of whatever resources you have. You would be happier with the same set of tools, facilities and resources you had earlier. Not only that, by prudent use of your potentials, you will also be able to help others. Even if you are not able to go out and work for social service or offer visible help to others, you must keep your thoughts open for that. Think good, think high, think like the great, the wise. Your imaginations, your aspirations must now be directed towards better, brighter and noble and nobler objectives. Leave the slippery path of decline. Come out of the hell and look at beauty of the heaven. Live for ultimate salvation. Salvation implies emancipation from all evils, sensual attractions, selfish attachments, illusions and sufferings. Moving towards the heaven means pursuing those ideals and principles which bestow everlasting peace, unalloyed joy, pure knowledge and soul contentment. Start bringing about the needed change in your thinking, living, behavior, actions from this very moment, so that you could march ahead towards the attainment of the preeminent goal of life. In human life, hope and despair alternate like day and night. Hope augments our vitality, whereas despair drains off our life energy, pushes us down in a dungeon of despondency and darkness. Sometimes Despair even pushes a person to commit suicide. On the other hand, a terminally sick person may start healing by vibrations of prayers of hope and health. Therefore, a person desirous of health, happiness and peace must not allow himself to become a helpless victim of the dread disease of despair. Despair, to some extent, is related to mental weakness caused by some malfunctioning in the body. Sometimes there are invisible changes in the internal harmony of the body. This in turn affects the mental state of a person. Even a minor biological disturbance may affect the mind. Chronic illness can also cause a feeling of hopelessness. Sometimes moods of despair and worry overtake us due to constipation, polluted air, lack of rest, over busy life, and so on and so forth. But causes like these can be rectified with a little common sense. For example, by following the laws of nature, taking course to a balanced routine and regular exercise, deep breathing, walking, etc. in clean surroundings like parks, open areas, etc. This will cure the mind also. Sometimes despair is also related to the habituality. It relates to the habitually negative mental disposition of a person. Whatever the cause or causes, it is not only possible to save oneself from prolonged moods of despondency, but also to keep it away altogether. To some extent, the cause of our despair is our refusal to accept the reality of hard facts of life. A person has his own likes and dislikes, but he should not expect the world to dance to his tune. Of course, one is free to have his own performances, one is free to have his own preferences, but it is naive to expect others to behave according to his wishes, whims and fancies. This world is run by universal laws of diversity and change. We encounter situations and persons which are not always to our liking. All forms and names in this world of ever-changing flux and foam are evanescent, whether they appear pleasurable or painful to us individually. Wisdom lies in gladly or stoically accepting whatever the Godhead of life gives us, wellness or illness, pleasure or pain, profit or loss, etc., and death, which is the gateway to greater life on the other side of the curtain. We can live peacefully and purposefully only when all life situations are accepted as they are, their present moment reality. It is well nigh impossible that during the whole span of life one doesn't encounter any odds. If you have been overwhelmed by adversity, have been denied the fulfillment of your desires, and see no ray of hope, then there is only one way of salvation. Get up and move ahead, accepting the challenges and hardships of life. Then only you will be given the wisdom and strength to reach your goal. Many people become chronically remorseful and unforgiving by thinking about the mistakes committed by them in the past, or the disrespect shown, or harm done to them by others. Others get worried by imagining the dangers of future. But both these conditions are signs of mental ill health. Remembering and thinking about regrettable incidents of the past and getting worried is like exhuming a dead body. The remedy lies in forgetting and forgiving. Similarly, it is also unwise to paint a horrible picture of the future in the mind. Often such negative imaginations turn out to be phantoms. Future will reveal itself in its own time. If at all one has to think of the future, let one visualize it positively. Whatever moments of happiness and peace come in living present must be embraced and utilized fully. It is not all possible, it is not at all possible that a person is surrounded all the time by adversity and there is perpetual darkness. There is certainly sunny side of life. We should appreciate and concentrate on these positive aspects. If we do so, despair will disappear. But normally, we worry about the shadowy side of the life. And as a consequence, what we get is dark despair. Despair results from an attitude of stupid selfishness. Those who are driven by selfish motives and those who keep themselves busy throughout life in the pursuit of their own selfish ends become chronic victims of despair, dissatisfaction and worry. This is a psychological truth. On the other hand, people who are motivated towards welfare and service of others are vibrantly alive with hope, enthusiasm and happiness. Therefore, we can get rid of despair by serving others with love and helping the needy. Despair keeps away from the life of the other-centered persons. Even if one is able to grab the biggest selfish end, he will still feel a void in his life, which will give rise to despair and despondency. Selfish life is a fertile ground for despair. Sometimes despair is also caused by a fixed mechanical routine. Often people after retiring from government jobs pass their remaining life in despair. Similarly, people who are self-employed or keep themselves totally engaged in their soul-killing routine without any worthwhile soul-nurturing interests like art, music, literature, games, entertainment, social contact, travel pilgrimage, religious rites, etc. also become victims of suffocating despair. Despair is also caused by too much self-centeredness and a nagging sense of self-reproach. It is just human to be lured into unethical, immoral acts through ignorance or under baneful influences. The only true repentance for these is not to repeat them by getting rid of the causes and firmly taking to righteous way of life. Constant brooding and harboring a constant sense of guilt and self-condemnation pushes one into the bottomless dark pit of despondency and despair. Do not allow yourself to be a permanent hostage to the demon of despair. Be free, get going, and firmly tread the path towards self-awareness and self-enlightenment. It was November 1882, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when Sri Ramakrishna arrived in Calcutta to attend the annual festival of the Brahma Samaj, which was to be celebrated at Manilal Malik's house. Besides Yam and other devotees of the Master, Vijay Goswami and a number of Brahmos were present. Elaborate arrangements had been made to make the occasion a success. Vijay was to conduct the worship. The Kathak recited the life of Prahlad from the Puran. Its substance was as follows. Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad's father, was king of the demons. He bore great malice towards God and put his own son through endless tortures for leading a religious life. Afflicted by his father, Prahlad prayed to God, O God, please give my father holy inclinations. When he heard these words, Sri Ramakrishna wept. He went into an ecstatic mood. Afterwards, he said to the devotees, Bhakti is the only essential thing One obtains love of God by constantly chanting His name and singing His glories. What a devotee Shivanath is. He is soaked in the love of God like a cheesecake in syrup. Let me tell you one thing, Sri Ramakrishna said further. God can be seen. Straight. The Vedas say that God is beyond mind and speech. The meaning of this is that God is unknown to the mind attached to worldly objects. Vaishnavacharya used to say, God is known by the mind and intellect that are pure. Therefore, it is necessary to seek the company of holy men, practice prayer, and listen to the instruction of the Guru. These purify the mind. Then one sees God. Dirt can be removed from water by a purifying agent. Then one sees one's reflection in it. One cannot see one's face in a mirror if the mirror is covered with dirt. After the purification of the heart, one obtains divine love. Then one sees God through His grace. Then Sri Ramakrishna asked Vijay Goswami, Sri Ramakrishna asked, will you tell me one thing? Why did you harp so much on sin? By repeating 100 times I am a sinner, one verily becomes a sinner. One should have such faith as to be able to say, what? I have taken the name of God. How can I be a sinner? God is our father and mother. Tell Him, O Lord, I have committed sins, but I won't repeat them. Chant His name and purify your body and mind. Purify your tongue by singing God's holy name. Then you will see how you can make best use of the mind, which is one's greatest asset. So, everything depends upon how we keep the mind pure and clean, how we make use of this greatest asset given to us by God. It is in our hands. God's help is there. But we should hold on to God. We should sincerely, devotedly pray to Him to have the realization of the truth. It's only through the purified mind one can certainly see God. That's why Sri Ramakrishna was very emphatic in telling God can be seen. Page 980. M arrived at the Bharanagar Math to visit his brother disciples. Devendra accompanied him. M had been coming to the monastery very frequently and now and then had spent a day or two. The previous week he had spent 3 days at the Math. He was very eager to observe the spirit of intense renunciation of these young men. It was evening. M intended to spend the night in the monastery. Shashi lighted the lamp in the worship room and chanted the name of God. Next, he burnt incense before all the pictures of gods and goddesses in the various rooms. Then evening service began. Shashi conducted the worship. The members of the Math with M and Devendra stood with folded hands and sang the hymn of the Arati. When the worship was over, Narendra and M became engaged in conversation. Narendra was recalling his various meetings with Sri Ramakrishna. Narendra said, "One day, during one of my early visits, the master, in an ecstatic mood, said to me, 'You have come. How amazing.' I said to myself, it is as if he had known me a long time. Then he said to me, 'Do you ever see light?' I replied, 'Yes, sir. Before I fall asleep, I feel something like a light revolving near my forehead.' Master Mahashya said, 'Do you see it even now?' M asked. Narendra said, 'I used to see it frequently. In Jadu Malik's garden house, the master one day touched me and muttered something to himself. I became unconscious. The effect of the touch lingered with me a month, like an intoxicating. When he heard that a proposal had been made about my marriage, he wept, holding the feet of the image of Kali. With tears in his eyes, he prayed to the Divine Mother, 'Oh Mother, please upset the whole thing. Don't let Narendra be drowned.' After my father's death, my mother and my brothers were starving. When the master met another Guha one day, he said to him, 'Narendra's father has died. His family is in a state of great privation. It would be good if his friends helped him now with money.' After another had left, I scolded him. I said, 'Why did you say all those things to him?' Thus rebuked, Sri Ramakrishna wept and said, 'Alas, for your sake I could beg from door to door.' See how much he loved? Then Swamiji says, 'He tamed us by his love.' Don't you think so? M said, 'There is not the slightest doubt about it. His love was utterly unselfish.' Narendra said, 'One day, when I was alone with him, he said something to me. Nobody else was present. Please don't repeat it to anyone here.' M said, 'No, I shall not.' What did he say? Narendra said, 'He said, it is not possible for me to exercise occult powers, but I shall do so through you. What do you say?' 'No,' I replied, 'you can't do that.' That is between Vivekananda and Sri Ramakrishna. I used to laugh at his words. 'You must have heard all these things from him.' I told him that his vision of God were all hallucinations of his mind. He said to me, 'I used to climb to the roof of the kuti and cry, "Oh devotees, where are you all? Come to me. Oh devotees, I am about to die. I shall certainly die if I do not see you." And the Divine Mother told me, "The devotees will come. You see, everything is turning out to be true." What else could I say? I kept quiet. One day he closed the door of his room and said to Devendra Babu and Girish Babu, referring to me, "He will not keep his body if he is told who he is." Referring to Narendranath, Vivekananda. Sri Ramakrishna said to them. Yam said, yes, we have heard that. Many a time he repeated the same thing to us. Once you came to know about your true self in Nirvikam Samadhi at the Kasipur Garden House. Isn't that true? Narendra said, yes. In that experience I felt that I had no body. I could see only my face. The master was in the upstairs room. I had the experience downstairs. I was weeping. I said, what has happened to me? The elder Gopal went to the master's room and said, Narendra is crying. When I saw the master, he said to me, now you have known, but I am going to keep the key with me. I said to him, what is it that happened to me? Turning to devotees, he said, he will not keep his body if he knows who he is, but I have put a veil over his eyes. One day he said to me, you can see Krishna in your heart if you want. I replied, I don't believe in Krishna or any such nonsense. Both Yam and Narendra laugh. In a previous birth. They appeared familiar to me. One day I went to Sarat's house in Calcutta on Amherst Street. Immediately I said to Sarat, this house seems familiar to me. It seems to me that I have known the rooms, the passages and the rest of the house for many, many days. I used to follow my own whims in everything I did. The master never interfered. You know, that I became a member of the Sadharan Brahma Samaj. Yam said, yes, I know that. Narendra said, the master knew that women attended the meetings of the Brahma Samaj. A man cannot meditate with women sitting in front of him. Therefore, he criticized the meditation of the Brahma Samaj. But he didn't object to my going there. But one day he said to me, don't tell Rakhal about your being a member of the Brahma Samaj, or he too will feel like becoming one. Yam said, you have greater strength of mind. That's why the master did not prevent your going to Samaj. Narendra said, I have attained my present state of mind as a result of much suffering and pain. You have not passed through any such suffering. I now realize that without trials and tribulations, one cannot resign oneself to God and depend on Him absolutely. Let us stop here. Yeah, because his bad samskars was so strong. He's totally dominated by the evil tendencies. From day one to day end, day one to the last day, you're full of those negative samskaras in his mind. So, even though he know he should not do, he was forced to do certain acts. That's why one has to be very careful, because it's very difficult to make the mind straight. If it is totally spoiled, it is extremely difficult to set it right. Only through hard sufferings and trials and tribulations in life, one may try to learn, but even then it is not certain whether a person learns lesson or not. So, but as Sri Ramakrishna shows, everyone finally reaches the goal. So that is a hope. So even though a man might have committed worst sins, he will be uplifted if he comes in contact with holy people. That triggers him to correct his life properly. That's why Sri Ramakrishna always emphasizes that one should have holy company. That is holy surroundings. That's what he meant. Holy surroundings. So mind should be made to come in contact with such things. That's the only way. There is no easy way, that I should say. Anything else? Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself, O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, and each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, you honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the ties of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous reign tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy, may the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.